Hello everyone, welcome back to The Media Couple. I'm Rory.
And I'm Sophie.
Where we break down the latest in film, TV and entertainment from an insider's perspective. Now today, we've got a few things on the agenda. First, we're going to be talking about Unknown Number, the High School Catfish. Then we're going to be moving on to The Thursday Murder Club, Netflix's new show. And finally, we will finish with a Rotten Tomatoes game.
Indeed. It's a Netflix special, isn't it?
It is, exactly. And if you haven't seen it, we highly recommend it. And just at the top of the podcast and at the top of the show, there's going to be spoilers. There's going to be an abundance of spoilers in here because we're going to break down each of those things and discuss them at great length.
So if you haven't watched them, turn this off right now.
Exactly.
Go watch them. Come back in a few hours.
Yeah. About
and
3.
Then give us a watch.
So for those who haven't seen Unknown Number, the High School Catfish, it's Netflix's new sort of, intense documentary. It follows a character called Lauren, who's a high school student in a small town in Michigan, and her boyfriend Owen. The premise of it is they just one day randomly start receiving strange messages on their phone that are, really sort of abusive and horrible and really nasty stuff. They get them repeatedly for a long time, and then to the point where the school gets involved, the police end up having a look into, this sort of cyberbullying case, and then eventually it goes all the way up to the FBI. That's right, it does. Goes all the way to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And then after months of investigating, here's the big twist. The moment. Turns out that it's actually Lauren's mum, Kendra, who's been sending all the messages for years, right? Yeah. And the one they've been investigating the whole time. Initially, they thought it could be one of the cheerleading squad, but turns out it's none of the girls and no kids at school. It's the mum. Now, she claims to have done it to protect Lauren. The mum went through some trauma as a kid and basically saw it as a way of protecting her daughter from any sort of trauma. Don't ask, it's a very strange way of responding to it. But overall, the film was very well received. Critically, it scored 84% on the Rotten Tomatoes meter.
Oh, are you playing the Rotten Tomatoes game now?
Throwing it back at you there. Throwing it back at you. And it went straight to number 1 the week of its release on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because, we watch a lot of these kind of murder mystery or whodunit kind of documentaries on Netflix, and none of them really get the traction that this one did. No. On the surface, I'd say this is sort of a whodunit, like typical Netflix style, that is big for a little while, but doesn't ever really break into the public discourse as much as this one does. Yeah. But this one, like I can't get it off my feeds. No, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. And I thought it would be interesting to sort of talk about why that is, and I think it really comes down to the twist. Yeah, it does. Of this one.
Yeah, it's a great twist. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it was her mum, and I think it was also kind of the way that they decided to edit it. Yeah. Right, because in the very beginning you saw her mum in there and you saw how she was speaking, and it really threw me off.
I loved that. That about it, that she was almost like, because you always have in documentaries, don't you, like the heroes and the villain. And she was one of the heroes at the start. I was like, oh, look, here's like a loving mother.
Exactly. And she was going in and, the way that she was telling the story was as if she was telling the story about the fact that she didn't know who it was.
Yeah, and how she was trying to protect Lauren and Owen.
Exactly. And they cut it like that. And I thought that was really interesting. I actually read an interview with the director. Okay. And they asked, why did you decide to cut it this way? And why did you decide to sort of organize the story in this way, where the mum Kendra actually came in early and was presented as if she was also a victim in this. And she basically said that it was actually led by the way that the interview unfolded.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So the way that Kendra was speaking was in that tone. So
interesting.
It kind of made me think a little bit like, oh, well, that's interesting. I wonder if that's kind of how Kendra looks at it still. Like she doesn't, because I feel like from the documentary, you definitely got a sense that she doesn't really fully understand
what she's done.
And
as well, I feel like the documentary ends very open-ended. Like it's not resolved. It's not like, her and Lauren have this big sort of therapy session and, over the years she's been in prison, she sort of diverges into her own mind and goes, this is exactly why I did it. It's kind of this weird thing of like, well, I was just trying to protect my kid. And it's like, protect her in a very strange way.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting. And I think also when you mentioned protecting the kid, I think that's also probably one of the reasons why it's done so well. Because essentially it's like, it appeals to lots of groups of people.
It does.
Right? It appeals to the teens
Yeah.
who are watching Netflix because obviously it's a teen story.
Mm-hmm.
But it also appeals to the parents
Yeah.
and people who have kids themselves. And it also appeals to really anybody who's on social media talking to other people.
Yeah, of course.
So it's got these like universal themes, and I think that's probably why, you know, it's been clipped, and then you add the twist into it, and it's just one of those things where it's almost like relatable. It's not like this huge like corporate like espionage like documentary or anything.
absolutely.
You know?
And as well, like it has those themes of like, you know, anyone who has issues with their own parents, you know, that's something that you examine. I mean, wow, talking about, you know, parents with the mum. I mean,
what a mum.
What a mum to have.
I did think it was also really interesting how they got the body cam footage and how they showed that.
Yeah, that was really interesting because you actually got to see the raw emotion in the moment.
I know.
She looked quite confused, I thought.
Yeah.
Like quite overwhelmed, but not overwhelmed, like not guilty.
I know.
Just
I know what
confused.
you mean. Confused, like the sort of like unbelievable. Like she didn't really understand what was going on,
or the magnitude of what was going on, at least.
Yeah, exactly. And in that interview that I read with the director, she also said that the whole police body cam footage was about 20 minutes long.
Oh wow!
And how she was saying how we wanted to put the whole thing in, but obviously you can't put 20 minutes of body cam footage in.
Yeah.
I was like, considering
bonus
how,
content.
I know. Well, I was thinking this. I was thinking, considering how well this documentary's done.
Yeah.
They should see if they can release that whole 20 minutes as like extra bonus content, because people, I mean, it's literally everywhere. People are, you know, figuring out all these different things.
I have seen lots of podcasts trying to break it down, like go further into Kendra's mind.
Yeah.
You know, and for a simple £5 more a month, you can get the bonus content right here. Joking, we don't have that content. Sorry.
No, we don't. The bonus content is right here.
Yeah, it's just in the room here.
This is the bonus content. But it did get me thinking, I mean, what kind of shows or films have you watched or seen that have pretty amazing twists? Can you think of any? I can think of one. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody if you haven't seen it, but Shutter Island for me.
Yeah, that's a good twist.
That twist was like...
solid twist. I loved that twist as well.
Yeah.
Like I actually loved that it was him and the, you know...
And don't give any more out.
I was gonna go in there. I mean, that's a film that's been out for a while though.
Yeah,
surely we
true.
can explain the twist.
Yeah.
A twist for me is The Usual Suspects. I absolutely love that twist.
Oh yeah.
Kaiser Soze or whatever. Yeah, I just think that's a really, really good piece of writing. He basically comes up with the entire narrative whilst being interviewed by the police detective, looking at the board of evidence behind the police detective.
Yeah.
And then just tells the entire story of the film.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really
No, that's a good one. Do you think they only work once though? Once you've like, could you rewatch it? Could you rewatch something? Like I'm thinking about this documentary, right? It's like now that I know that it's Kendra, in a way, part of me wants to go back and rewatch it now that I know that it's Kendra, just to see what she's like in the interview. But then I'm like, okay, once I've done that, I'm like, does it kind of ruin it for you? I don't know.
I get what you mean. I actually think it's quite uncommon. I love documentaries. It's my favourite genre of film, but I think it's uncommon, I think, for people to go back and revisit documentaries.
It is,
because it's almost like, well, we've learnt what we needed to do. Whereas, like, I could probably say I've watched Game of Thrones 5 times.
Yeah.
But I go back and revisit it because I don't know. Films. Because I'm kind of like, oh, did I miss something? And most of the time you do.
Yeah.
Whereas with a documentary, you're like, I agree. It's like, well, we know Kendra did it. So
yeah, no, that's a really...
The rush is... You know,
I know.
Yeah.
That is a really good point though. People tend not to go back and rewatch documentaries, as you said, because once you've seen it, it's like, well, I've learned everything I need to know. I know what the story is now.
Like, it would have to be a long time. I think that one of the documentaries I've rewatched multiple times is Super Size Me. I've watched that probably about 3 times.
Yeah.
But
that's a good one.
Staying on this, I want to ask you a couple of questions about it.
Okay.
About Unknown Number. So, do you think it is more unsettling to watch a story that ends messy, unresolved trauma, or one that ties everything up? What do you prefer?
Well, I think it depends on what the genre is, doesn't it? I mean, if you've got like these really open-ended I mean, I think with Untold Stories, obviously, it did end a little bit messy. It hasn't tied everything up neatly with a bow. But I think it's reality. It's documentary. And life isn't neat and bow-like, you know?
Absolutely.
If it was... I mean, whoever's life is like that, please let me know what your secret is, because I'd love to know.
Same here.
But Again, I think it depends on the genre. Like if we're talking Thursday Murder Club, for example.
Oh yes.
That genre.
We need things tied up there.
Exactly,
We
and
need to
also
wrap
it
the case.
suits the type of watching that you're going to do. But if you're in a really intense thriller,
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily needs to end perfectly.
Yeah.
I think having sort of a messy ending depends.
Leaves it open-ended, I guess.
It depends on what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. That's a good. I like that.
Is that a good
Depends what I'm
answer?
looking for.
Yeah, as a viewer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've got one more
Yeah.
question for you. So, out of these two documentaries, if you could recommend one to someone who's never watched a true crime documentary before, would you recommend Unknown Number, the High School Catfish, or Making a Murderer?
Oh, Making a Murderer.
Would you?
I think Making a Murderer is the documentary series that.
Is it the GOAT?
But it's the one that made it big on Netflix.
I think that was like the blueprint.
It was,
Yeah.
it was the one that everybody went, oh my God.
Because I remember being hooked on that. Because they turned it into episodes, didn't they? It was actually a docu-series.
Yes.
And then it was so popular, they made a season 2.
Yeah, I think Making a Murderer was, the blueprint for Netflix of what makes a broadly appealing, very viral documentary.
Yeah. It had all the elements, didn't it?
Yeah. So I think and also it's just such a bigger story.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel
So-
like nothing like that has been made. They haven't been able to replicate that since.
No, because I think it was also unfolding in real time.
Yeah,
And everybody cottoned on to what the that whole genre was, and it's a little bit harder now, I think, to break through in that same way. But also Making a Murderer and the fact that it was unfolding in real time, and they'd spent so much time with that family and filming with them and getting to know them. I think from if memory serves me,
distant memory.
It was a long process.
I think
of filming with them.
Yeah, I want to say like 10 years or something.
I want to say that too. So we might be wrong, but you're not going to be able to replicate that immediately. That you're going to need 10 years to do that. So I think if you haven't watched Making a Murderer, go watch that. That is incredible. And then watch Untold Stories.
Absolutely.
Untold Stories?
Unknown Number.
Unknown Number.
You could also watch Untold Stories. Where is that, Sophie?
Where is that?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But moving on, Sophie mentioned it earlier, but Thursday Murder Club. Go and watch that as well.
Yes.
But just to give you an overview on what that is, so that's Netflix's latest sort of film, made up of 4 characters that are, known as the Thursday Murder Club. A bunch of retirees. They mostly investigate historical cases, as they are all retired now. However, it gets exciting when death arrives at the door. Tony Curran, who's the landlord of where they live, is murdered, followed by David Tennant's character, who wants to basically redevelop everything into a block of flats. He is also murdered, and the story takes sort of many twists and turns until the murderer confesses at the end of the show.
Indeed.
So
yeah. This film is a pretty, I would say, peak ensemble character-driven film.
Absolutely, yeah.
It has got Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan,
Yep.
Sir Ben Kingsley, Celia Imrie, David Tennant, Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
Just to name a few.
I know. He was like when he came out of nowhere. Love me a bit of Richard E. Grant. Left field.
I know. This one is quite a crowd pleaser, and I mean, you've got a murder, obviously, that happens, but it's not a murder in, a Making a Murderer kind of way.
Like a brutalist
No,
way.
This one's like quite, and I thought it was really interesting that it was released in September.
Yeah.
Right? It feels almost like you should be at home with a blanket, a cup of tea.
Autumnal.
It was very like cozy, warm. I feel like this is the kind of show that you could watch with your grandparents, you could watch with your kids.
Yeah.
You could watch with anyone. It's got mass broad appeal, and I think it's interesting because I think it has the same kind of broad appeal that Unknown Number has.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for a very different reason.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well it has a broad appeal because of the audiences that it can actually attract. Like, me and you sat and watched that film, and obviously majority of the people in the film are above the age of 60.
Yeah.
But it was very entertaining. You know, it was really lighthearted, really lovely. It's a bit like the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. You know, it's just like a feel-good film. Even though a lot of people die in it, you kind of walk away going, that was nice.
But I mean, the story was brilliant.
It was really brilliant. And it was actually written by Richard Osman. Shout out Richard.
I know. He did a good job with that.
But yeah, it kind of reminds me of those Agatha Christie sort of films and novels, you know.
Totally. I mean, look, if you had to cast your own Thursday Murder Club, right, you could pick anybody.
Oh, see, I think they cast it really, really well.
No, but you're not casting anybody for those roles. Like, you're casting people, like celebrities, you know, or actors, or people that you know. Who would you cast in your Thursday Murder Club?
Who would I cast as the 4 characters? That's a tricky one.
I
You've
know.
really put me on the spot here.
Have I put you on the spot?
I've got to just think of actors I like, haven't I?
Yeah.
Well, I've historically always liked Jake Gyllenhaal. So, Jake, you're coming in there.
Okay.
But then he's not British, is he? Could he do a British accent?
I don't...
I could go really rogue and be like, right, I'm having Joseph Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need like a female actress, British, who's like, maybe I go like really young, up and coming. What's her name? Daisy Edgar Jones.
Oh, cool.
Could go with someone like her.
Yeah.
Who else? Cosmo Jarvis.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Put him in there.
Okay.
And then I kind of want 2 guys and 2 girls.
Okay.
Help me out here. Give me another young, like, British woman who's up and coming.
Gosh, I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Is she British?
I think she's Australian.
She's Australian.
She could do the British accent.
She could do it. Okay, fine. We'll cast her.
See, I don't think I'd go that way. I think I'd do someone like Stephen Merchant.
Oh, that.
Right.
See, that's so much better. See, I'm completely...
You didn't really think this one through.
No, go on. Stephen Merchant.
I think I'd do Stephen Merchant because you need some like comic relief.
Hands down. Already
David
better.
Attenborough because you need some serious gravitas.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
He's still got it in him. At like 95 years old.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I know he does.
Judi Dench because she just will not take anybody's BS.
No.
Right, and then we need someone kind of like fun, whimsical, maybe not whimsical. Do you know what? Someone like Gemma Collins. Just to come in and just be like, darling, over here.
The J says here. Out the way, darling. What do you need from me?
Yeah, I feel like that could be quite fun.
Right, I'm going to get up in a minute and then I'll help you solve this murder. But I'm going back to bed,
but
all right?
You know what I mean?
All night
Can you imagine her
night?
and Stephen Merchant with Judi Dench and David Attenborough? It'd be like...
they'd riff off quite well.
I think they would.
Yeah.
It'd be so fun.
She'd be like, so David, what was it like with the gorillas? You know, up close and that.
I would love it.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch
That's
that
the
too.
Friday Murder Club.
Exactly. Oh, I don't know. Are there any other films that you can think of that has like great casts or great ensembles? I'm trying to think of them now.
Yeah, like what, in the same tone or the same genre?
Or any.
Spotlight.
Oh, yes.
It's got a great cast.
That was really good.
Really solid cast. I also thought Whiplash was, you know, I know it's only the 2 main characters really,
I
but
mean, that's hardly an ensemble cast, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
really good.
Yeah, it was
Really good
very
casting.
good. Yeah, fair enough. Well, unless you have anything else you'd like to add to the Thursday Murder Club, I think we should swiftly move on to the Rotten Tomatoes game.
I absolutely don't. That's the Thursday Murder Club. Cases solved.
Solved. Done.
Solved. Done.
So, Rotten Tomatoes, the theme is murder mystery. For those of you who do not know what the Rotten Tomatoes game is, it is a game where basically I tell Rory a film under the theme. Today it's murder mystery. He then tells me what he thinks the Rotten Tomatoes critics and audience score is. I tell him if he's right or wrong. He's usually wrong. We talk about the film and then we move on. That's basically the game. So, today, first one is Knives Out.
I'm just going to say straight off the bat, I'm feeling confident. So, Knives Out. All right. Claws out. Knives Out. I'm going to go for 81% critic score.
Okay.
89 audience.
Okay, critically, 97%.
Well, shut the front door.
Audience score, 92%.
I should have gone higher.
I know.
That's a great film.
It is a really good film, but I didn't expect it to score so highly.
No, that's really high.
Yeah.
I like that. Good film. Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Thought you were going to go Murder on the Dance Floor.
No. Just Murder on the Orient Express.
I liked that film as well. I know that those are a bit like... Are we talking... Wait, the remake or the original?
The remake.
The remake. Sorry. Yeah, we're, you know...
Not the original. Although the original is good too.
We're millennials.
Yep. You're definitely a millennial.
Yeah. The remake... I'm going to go with an audience score of 76 and a critic score of 80.
Okay, critically, 60%.
Oh, really low.
Audience score, 54.
Wow. Wow. Maybe people liked the Poirot ones, like, more.
Yeah, they just really didn't like that one. I quite enjoyed it. And there was that other one, the Death on the Nile. I thought that was just as good.
We went through a phase of watching these and I enjoyed them for what they are.
I think they're equally like Thursday Murder Club vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Cute, fun. Yeah, exciting. Anyways, next one, game night.
Game night.
Yes.
I'm going to go for an audience score of 75.
Okay.
Critic score of 62.
Okay, critically, 85%.
Wow. I'm really not doing well here.
Audience score, 78%.
What did I say?
75. You were close.
Come on.
Not quite there. But I like this. I quite enjoy. I think this one had a good little twist to it.
Yeah, it did.
That's what I liked about game night. Which is why I added it in. And but I was surprised at how high the score was. But it's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
It's not bad.
And the last one in our murder mystery game, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, what, the series?
No, the film.
Oh, with Robert Downey Jr.
The film.
Okay. I'm going to go like relatively high for this. I think audience score 85.
Yeah.
Critically 82.
Okay. Audience score was 77%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Critically, 70%.
Wow, not
People
great.
really didn't. But do you know what I think was wrong with Sherlock Holmes? Not that there was anything wrong with Sherlock Holmes. But I think what was wrong was the timing of that movie. Because we'd just come off the back of Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Yeah, it was all around the same time. So there was definitely an element of the Sherlock Holmes being Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Freeman? Yes.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Robert Downey Jr.
And Jude Law.
And it just very different vibes, very different like ways of going about it. But I think had that been brought out now, I think it would have done better.
Yeah, 100%. I always think it's really tricky as well when you cast an American to do a British role, like especially such a famous British character, you know. It's like casting an American to play Bond, you know. Sherlock is equally
absolutely not.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I know we still need to find out who the Bond actor is.
We did. You showed me the other day and you were like, look, this is it, and I had no idea who it was, but he was actually cast to play Bond in the new video game coming out. That's what once you read the headline.
Oh dear. But yes, anyways, with that lovely note, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you paying attention to us. It's very kind.
Very kind.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will put these out every week. So we will see you back here next week. If you have been watching on YouTube, please do subscribe, drop a comment below. If you've been listening, please do give us a review. It really does help other people find us. Anyways, thanks for being here. We will see you next week, and have a good one.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.